Hey guys, welcome back to the CCC. I feel like it's been a while. I feel like this is, I don't know why, it feels like a longer break than usual. This Tuesday or Thursday things, I'm having to adjust.
It's because days go on for weeks and weeks and weeks because we're not doing anything.
I was gonna say I just miss our audience, but that's fine if you want to be cold and
I can tell you, since last Thursday, I've definitely sampled a few.
and what makes that different than most days and weekends?
Absolutely nothing. I'm just saying. I've stayed busy doing my research for you guys.
Well, research, right? Yeah, absolutely it is. So today, actually this week, we're going back to some classics, but as we like to do in the CCC, they're not just straight classics. They're,
Riffs?
if you will, on a classic.
The riffs? We should
Yeah.
remind people if they want to order the volume 2 of the CCC book, you need to order it rather quickly if you want to be in on the first shipment of it. The limited first release of volume 2 of the CCC is available at www.mommymixology.net.
Are you done plugging your book now?
I'm done plugging our book now.
So you ask, what is that?
It just does. It's one of my favorites. I think it's better than the first one. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, the book, absolutely. It's got a little special bonus at the front.
Oh yeah, I got fancy. We put in a table of contents this time, you guys. Now you can search by spirit.
Speaking of spirit, today we're going to be playing with gin. We're going back to a classic, as I said, a gin gimlet, but we're going to be bringing in part of the kitchen, as we like to do. I'm bringing in cucumbers. And what I found interesting in my research, because I feel like I was thinking earlier, I've not gone back and done a lot of nerdy research in a while, so I felt like I owed it to the audience, who I know is just clamoring for more useless trivia and useless knowledge, right?
Always.
Always. In fact, that's the most common feedback we get is we want more longer dialogue.
Yes, Jason, can you please get nerdier?
Yes. I've got a few bits of trivia on this one. So as
Gin gimlet?
a gin gimlet, there's actually quite a bit to learn here. So first of all,
It's actually a pretty popular drink. I feel like people always like a gin gimlet.
well, it's sort of like ordering a martini, but it's a little more approachable than a martini for most people. But you're still often getting a martini glass. Not that we would do that, although it does look like someone on a show might have a martini glass in front of them, which I find very surprising.
I did. Well, I have a cute little vintage guy. I thought I'd give him a shot, give him a whirl. I haven't taken him out for a spin yet.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you crap for that because you often make fun of martini glasses. So
I hate martini glasses, but he's tiny. He's like a little ricey size. I don't know. He's a vintage guy. That makes it okay somehow. It's not like, I'm not going to enjoy drinking from him, but I think he's cute. Anyway, he's tiny, so I'll finish it in 2 seconds.
I'll give you a pass, but I'm curious why you gave me that funny look when I said, if you think about if you think about like a gin martini, and some people find it just to be too strong. They need their gin mixed with tonic. They need their gin mixed with something else. This allows them to feel fancy, order a martini glass, and it's simple. It's not a ton of ingredients. So to me, it's sort of a safe cousin to a gin martini.
It's a gin sour.
Okay, but it's still served up in a martini glass.
Or a cocktail glass.
See, I gave you a pass for your martini. Now
It can definitely be served in a coupe glass. I don't think it has anything to do with a martini outside of the gin.
I'm just telling you, I think it's a way for someone to order a gin cocktail without a ton of other stuff in it, where you're actually going to taste the gin. It's not being mixed with soda or tonic or a ton of other things, not a last word with 3 other ingredients in it. Anyways, as I was speaking before, so
that's a good point. It's a bad place to use cheap, crappy gin.
No, it's not a good place. Is that what you said?
Yeah, this is not a good place to use your crappy bathtub gin. This is a good place. I mean, both of us put out the Hendrix because we're doing a cucumber gimlet, so it'll highlight the cucumber notes, but in general, use a nice gin.
Yeah, no Gilbey's here.
I don't even know what that is.
I think Gilbey's was actually like the gin back in the day. But now it's, if you can find it, it's sort of on the bottom shelf. It's sort of a well gin.
Maybe back in your day.
Anyways, you're just full of compliments today. Can I go back to my useless trivia? Back in the day, if a sailor had scurvy, which was pretty prevalent back then, one way to help with scurvy was, because most sailors back then were not drinking or not eating or taking in enough citric acid.
Why that is? What were they busy drinking? Probably whiskey. and not drinking anything with fresh citrus. And lime juice goes way better with gin than with whiskey.
Well, and lime, so as I read, limes in particular preserve better than other citrus. So that's why limes were more prevalent. And were really the main driver behind this. But that was just lime juice in general. Then in the late 1800s, a Surgeon Admiral Sir Thomas Gimlet, but spelled with a T, an extra T and E on the end. Gimlet invented or supposedly invented the gin gimlet. So bringing in the citrus, adding some gin to it for a little extra flavor. And that's where the gin gimlet supposedly was founded.
So interesting, like anything I think that's got gin and lime in it can be called a gin gimlet.
True. And in fact, there's even some variations that I did some research on. Have you ever heard of a Bennett cocktail?
Bennett?
A Bennett cocktail. There's no joke here. It's actually a real drink. Okay, so it's a gin gimlet, but it has 2 dashes of Ango. So the color is completely different. It adds, it's a little more bitter, obviously. And then a Richmond gimlet is basically a gimlet with a fresh sprig of mint, which is a perfect segue to what I think you have behind your left shoulder, because you're looking to bring in some herbs too, right?
Yes. Well, I thought to go nicely with our cucumber and lime, I thought I would bring in some of my fresh basil from outside.
Now you're just bragging.
I am a little bit bragging, but I mean, cucumber and basil, that really works so nicely together. But the nice thing here is you really can do whatever you want with the gimlet. I mean, gin, simple, lime, and then throw in whatever else you want. You want cucumber? Great, go for it. You want to use the midsummer. A lot of people are, loving on that midsummer gin or the purple gin. Go for it. Just, throw in whatever you want.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good foundation, and it's not so complex where you're not going to appreciate the basil or appreciate mint or rosemary or whatever else you want to add. So it is. It's a good kind of canvas to play with. The other takeaway I have, and I'll end with my trivia here, is that scurvy can occur with people that are not taking in enough fruit or vegetables. So we give you fruit and vegetables.
So I should make one of these for my kids at dinner? Okay.
Shall we? So, as we often do whenever we're muddling, it is better to chop up the fruit just a bit. Start with, I did 3 slices. It's really, again, up to you on how cucumber heavy you want it, but the classic recipe, or at least the version we're making, our sort of standard recipe is 3 slices.
I use 5 because I have the tiny mini cucumbers.
Good example.
Everything we got is tiny and mini today.
I was going to say, yeah. In fact, I'm surprised you don't have like a little airplane bottle of Hendrix next to you.
Oof, those are cute.
They're cute. All right, so 3, 5, however many cucumbers you have, drop them in. We're using that same muddler that we used, I think it was last week, the one that's got more of a serrated bottom on it. It tends to, at least I am, it tends to sort of agitate it and break it up more.
The more you muddle, the more cucumber juice you're really gonna taste out of this. So go to town.
And if there's running rice, he knows about it, it's agitating. All right, 2 ounces of gin. Again, there's no specific one, but I think Hendrix is a really good call if you have some already, because it does have more of a cucumber forward profile. 3/4 ounce lime. Oh, actually, this is one that I think is going to catch Ricey off guard. Do you know the original recipe calls for Rose's lime juice, not fresh lime juice in this drink? True story.
The extra sweetener?
So the original Rose's lime, in fact, some people call it a Rose's lime cordial. It was more of a concentrated sweetened lime. It's kind of different than the one that's out there now that's owned by, I think Dr. Pepper owns it now, the brand. And you guys have seen either Rose's lime or Rose's grenadine. It's that classic bottle you see in all restaurants. With the CCC, we're fans of just fresh citrus. And I saw enough recipes that call for Rose's lime that I still feel strongly that it doesn't reflect kind of what we're striving for. I just don't like the flavor of those pre-made syrupy juices personally. And since we're using fresh lime juice and not Rose's, which tends to be sweeter, we're going to also add some simple syrup, 1/2 ounce.
Any about that bottle?
What's that?
I have the mini version.
That's hilarious.
I am going to add some basil inside also. And I'm not going to muddle it in there because I don't want to release all the chlorophyll, because that'll be really gross. I'll tear it up a little bit so that, enough comes when it agitates. But if you really release a lot of the oils, the chlorophyll tastes like shit.
You find it gets more bitter. You can sort of lose the actual essence of whatever herb it is. And you just taste bitter.
It's very bitter. It's really gross. You know what I was just thinking?
What's that?
A little bit of ancho verde would be nice in here.
Ooh, that'll be good.
If you have ancho verde, throw in like, I don't know, a quarter of an ounce, half an ounce. That'd be yum.
And just so everyone knows, that's this guy here, the green bottle. Always chill the glass in a drink like this early. All right, coupe glass, martini glass if you have it, Nick and Nora. I think all the above would work. All right, fine strain. All right, so for garnish, on this guy, I was actually thinking something really clean and simple. So I took a cucumber, sliced it really, really thin. Just gonna lay it on top. That's cute.
Lovely. This does not get enough credit. It sounds like a really basic drink, but this is a really good drink. In this heat, damn good drink, you guys. Damn good drink. For Thursday, get a grapefruit because we're gonna make a delicious, another really good for hot weather, kitchen to bar sort of, along the same lines of very clean, really yummy with vodka. So grab your Tito's, grab your grapefruit, and join us on Thursday. I'm gonna go enjoy it.
Be careful lifting that up.
I don't spill it. This is why I hate martini glasses.
I told you. Cheers, Rice.
Cheers, Jason.